Hello there, my dear friend. How are you? I hope you're having a fabulous day. Let's get into today's conversation. I'm going to share with you my personal mindset routine that has helped me get from stuck in so many areas of my life. And when I say stuck, I mean overthinking, procrastinating, feeling super overwhelmed, getting caught up in people pleasing and trying to prove myself and all of those things that just kept my attitude, my habits, my behaviors limited. To go from there to scaling my businesses, scaling my relationships, scaling in the vision that I have for my life, scaling my income, scaling my relationships, like everything literally going from stagnant and stuck and I can't get through the ick, being like this for a long time, to things steadily, certainly climbing. It all boiled down to what I was allowing myself to have in my environment. And today specifically, I'm going to talk about my internal environment. I think so often when we're wanting things to change and shift in our lives, we look outside of ourselves for the change, either a change in things that we're doing, or a change in a strategy that we employ, or a change in the people that are around us, changing maybe our immediate ecosystem. And that's where we go first because it's easier to change what's outside. We live with ourselves. This is the relationship that is the longest relationship you'll ever be in. It's the only relationship you'll ever have that lasts from life until death. And so it's something that we need to be okay with, the fact that being with all the stuff is hard. It's hard, it's challenging, it's going to take something for you to be able to shift, but that is where the magic happens, because when change happens in here, everything on the outside cannot help but be affected. Whereas sometimes when we pursue change out there, we're actually running away from in here. And so the cycle perpetuates, because guess what? Everywhere you go, there you are. If you're not working on what's in here, nothing will really change long term. And so talking to you about my personal mindset habits, I want you to be really just be really clear that this isn't my avocation, that this is the one best only way. I actually don't believe that there's a one best only way for anything. So I'm definitely not going to share this with you with that in mind, but rather kind of take it from kind of a procedure standpoint, or look at it from a principles standpoint, and see how you can apply similar principles in your life rather than the exact same strategy. Deal? Okay. I always like to make that disclaimer because I think, like I said, so often we seek answers from the outside. And while that's great, being able to have people that will inspire you and make you think differently and hopefully empower you to make some different choices, we should never look at somebody else's way as the way. We have to create our way, the way that makes sense for you. And in order to do that, you have to try on a bunch of stuff. You have to run a bunch of experiments with yourself to see what sticks, see what makes sense, and just allow the process of figuring that out take however long it takes. We want things now. We want things yesterday. We want things exactly like in the timing that we want them. And that's just not reality, unfortunately. And I think part one, this is like the prologue to the actual story that I'm going to share with you. But the prologue is, be okay with the length of time. Be okay with the fact that this is going to take some time. Let go of your need for things to change like that, because that's just not reality. And I can almost guarantee that your need for things to be different today is what's fueling your overwhelm, your overthinking, your procrastination, your people pleasing, all of those things that we've talked about. That need for that desperation for things to be different today, for you to employ a strategy that works today. That's what's keeping you in that. So if there's one thing that I can offer you, is really learn to be okay with the time frame. I heard someone put it this way, and they were talking about it specifically from a business standpoint, but I think it applies everywhere in life. They said, there's no rush. This is your life's work. This is what you're dedicating your time, your energy, your effort to. Why does it have to happen today? Be okay with the process and figuring it out and being in practice and running the experiments and trial and error and letting the process kind of unfold in the way that it's supposed to, as opposed to holding on so tight and trying to manipulate an outcome that you really don't have any control over when you think about it from the timing standpoint. And that just really helped me kind of release some of that. What is wrong with me? Why isn't it happening? Because when we get stuck in those kinds of questions, we know what happens there, right? So now that I've given you my prologue, be okay with the time frame, I want to share with you three things that I do every day. And I'm not kidding. These are things that I do every single day, Monday to Saturday at the very least. I don't like to schedule myself to have things that I have to do on a Sunday, but these things kind of tend to bleed into a Sunday as well, because they just help ground me and help me feel empowered. I get emotional when I think about the difference that has happened for me in terms of the version of myself that I am. Because if I had stayed in those emotions that I described to you at the beginning, then the life that I currently lead wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be unfolding for me. And that is never lost on me, because this in so many ways is a dream come true. And I really want you to get the nuance of that. What's at stake for you if you don't allow life to change you, if you don't allow yourself to get into a system of change, so that all the reasons why you stay stuck and not thriving and feeling frustrated and feeling as if nothing's ever going to work for you, and carrying around an element of shame because surely you should be further along by now, and being disappointed in yourself and all of those things, the longer we stay there, the more we see our dreams and our ambitions start to filter away from us, start to feel further and further away from us. And that's where we fall into the trap of settling in our lives. We fall into the trap of settling for less than we're capable of and less that we know we're deserving of. And that's when we start to get bitter and resentful. And we all know people like that in our lives, right? The resentful, bitter aunt or the resentful, bitter grandparent, purely because life didn't turn out in the way that they wanted it to. And a lot of that, not always, please take it in context, but a lot of that is our own doing, right? I always like to share with you that we are the single greatest obstacle in our lives. It's us. It's right here. Hi, it's me. you know? And I think that's an empowering thought, as opposed to it being kind of a finger pointery opportunity. It's an incredibly empowering belief system to adopt, because if you take responsibility of it, if you take an ownership of it, you can change it, right? All right. So these three things that I do every day to work on my mindset, to really get me to a place where I've gone from all of those negative emotions to where my life is on the upward trajectory now. And it starts with this one simple thing. I curate what I listen to. I curate every piece of input that comes into my mind. I purposefully read, listen to things that empower me and inspire me and help me work on the areas in my life that I still need healing or growth or transformation. I don't listen to negativity. I don't read the news. I don't listen to the news. I keep abreast of what's going on, but I don't get stuck in that quagmire. I don't seek out clickbait and negative kind of social media content. I don't use social media as kind of like a place where I go to get baited into negative narrative. I'm very intentional about what I allow in here. And you know the singular reason for that? Before anyone thinks that, oh, Sabrina's a saint and she just keeps all the negativity out. That's definitely not the case. I do, but not for the reasons that maybe people think. to be perfectly honest, my internal world is incredibly chaotic. I have a lot of negative self-talk. I have a lot of stories that exist that I fight against, and I try to find proof against and evidence against on a daily basis. There's a lot of stuff that I deal with from my youth and things that I'm still trying to heal from and transcend beyond. So my inner world is already chaotic. If I allowed negative input to mix in with that, I honestly don't know whether I would survive that. And that feels big to say. It feels hard to say, but that's my truth. I don't know whether I would survive in that darkness. And so I choose not to be in that darkness. I choose to only allow the things that uplift me and inspire me and empower me into my head. So the first thing that I do every morning is I stretch and I go for a walk. And on that 3-mile walk, I'm listening to incredible input from people that I value, their insights and their perspective and their teachings. I listen to courses, I listen to interviews, I listen to podcasts, I listen to audiobooks, I listen to nuggets, like inspirational nuggets from YouTube or from the Growth Day app I use every day. So the teachers that are in there, and I really tailor it around topics that I'm interested in terms of growth. I'm a coach, so I'm always trying to increase and expand my awareness of different perspectives on the different subject matters that I may have come across in my work. But then I'm also looking for things that I need help with. Right? If I know that I'm still struggling with what people think of me, then I actively and intentionally seek content around overcoming the fear of what people think of you. I'm very intentional about what I allow into my internal world in my brain. And that's how my day starts. It's with movement, and then with that kind of that motivational, it's not even motivational, it's way beyond that, but that really intentional mindset work. That's how I start my day, every day. And it has been such a game-changing piece of the equation. I even struggle to say game-changing because I think it's so overused. But for me, it really has been life-changing for me to have that intentional practice of starting my day with messages that I need for my own uplifted energy. It fuels me, energizes me, it helps me focus, it makes me feel grounded and intentional. It helps me get beyond some of that noise that's internal so that I can show up in the best energy that I possibly can for the people that I'm here to serve. So that's practice number 1 of how I got from stuck to really kind of scaling in all these areas of my life. My personal mindset habit, number 1, is starting my day with that good juju. And everything that I'm going to share with you is geared around the beginning of my day, because I think that's so important to decide what energy you're walking into your day with. So many people, and tell me if you recognize yourself in this, kind of allow themselves to become reactive to the world. And my husband does this and it drives me crazy, but he never has a plan for his day. He's like upper management in his work, and he's very called upon when it comes to his energy and his attention, and he's needed by a lot of people throughout the day. And that's how he spends his whole day, is responding and reacting to the needs and wants and desires and emergencies of other people. And then he gets mad when the work that he actually needs to do doesn't get done, but he's not intentional about that. Trust me, I've tried to coach him on that. I've tried. It's something that he has to come to the detrimental realization for himself. And I hope you recognize that. I hope you don't recognize yourself in that. But if that's what you find yourself doing, 1, it's very normal that people operate that way. But 2, you have to realize how detrimental that is to your ability to make forward progress. If you're always just in reaction mode to the world, you might have your to-do list, you might be incredibly organized when it comes to your timings and all the tasks that you need to get done. But if you're not being intentional about how you're choosing your energy at the beginning of the day, then that first email, that first ping that you get, that first notification, that's what will set your energy for the day. That's that external thing, not you making a conscious, intentional choice. So everything that I'm going to share with you is geared around the very beginning of my day, because I understand the importance of choosing your energy. So please take that and do with it what you will. But I think that's an important thing to think about for yourself too, is what energy am I choosing today? Even asking yourself that simple question. You don't have to go through everything that I'm about to share with you, but maybe that's the principle you can take out of this. How am I choosing my energy today? So number one, we go for a walk, we get some movement in, we get that motivational kind of positive energy with my mindset work. And then I read my vision. Yes, every day. I have a vision board, and I know I'm a big advocate for you creating a vision and having it somewhere where you can see the visual representation of that often. So I have my vision board, I have it as the screensaver on my computer, I have it as the lock screen on my phone. The lock screen on my phone is my husband's picture, but the other, the subsequent screen when you actually open the phone, that's my vision board, is the background to that. He chewed me out for not having him as the lock screen on my phone, so I changed that. But I love to see his face anyway. He travels so much at the moment that it's actually been great that every time I pick up my phone, his face is there. Makes me not miss him as much. But anyway, side note. So I'm a big advocate for having your vision front and center. But one of the things that I also do, as well as having that visual representation of what I want my life as a whole to be, the goals that I want to achieve this year and all of that, I write down a kind of a scene from a perfect day in my life about 3 years in the future. I always do it about 2 to 3 years in the future, as opposed to by the end of this year kind of a scene, because it allows me to dream a little bit more expansively beyond what I know is possible for me in a 12-month time span. Putting it out there 3 years, it allows my mind to dream bigger about what could be possible. So I've written, it's like a 2-page scene, a moment captured of what I'm doing, specifically what I'm kind of thinking about, who I'm with, what's happening. And I read that every day. I read my vision every single day. One of the reasons why I think this is so vital and has been so important for me is that, yes, it's further out. So like I said, it gives me the ability to dream a little bit bigger and have my ambitions be a little bit bigger. But keeping it front and center, those days where you wake up and you're just like, F it, I'm just not, for whatever reason. Maybe you slept badly, maybe you got up on the wrong side of the bed, maybe it's your day of the month. What's that? Time of the month. My brain is not operating. It's your time of month. Maybe you had an argument with your spouse. Maybe you're just not in a good energy, and you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm always very conscious about us being slave to our emotions, because our emotions will take us out real quick. And we have to be able to operate regardless of how we feel in the moment. And that all of those destructive behavior patterns that we find ourselves in, the overthinking, the procrastinating, the self-doubt, all of that, when we allow those to decide the actions that we take, that's when we get into real trouble with our momentum building and our forward progress. So by reading my vision every day, regardless of my emotional state that day, I get recentered on what it is that I'm doing all of this for, what it is that I want ultimately to create, what it is that I ultimately want my life to feel like. I get to touch that, taste that, experience that in my mind. And that kind of is like, okay, the emotion is still there. I may feel all of these negative things, tired, upset, whatever, but I'm still going to go and do what I know I need to do to move my life forward today. That's the power of having your vision front and center in a way that you've articulated it so you can taste it and touch it and smell it and feel it beyond just looking at pictures that sometimes they can lose their meaning when we look at them often, but really have a transcribed description of what a day in your life feels like in this future version that you can get rooted in and grounded in. I think it can be incredibly powerful. So that's my personal mindset kind of process. Number 2 is looking at reading my vision every single day. And then as soon as I've done that, I go I write in my kind of like daybreak journal, which just has laid out some questions for me. I literally have some questions written down in this journal. It's on my iPad. So I've like copied that page over and over again. And I just do it every day, where I ask myself, how do I want to feel today? Who do I need to serve today? How do I need to show up today? An affirmation that is fueling my day. 3 things that I'm grateful for today. My top 4 priorities in my life in this season right now. What the outcome that I want for my day today to be. Why is that important? So not just what I want the outcome for the day, but why does that matter? 5 things that are going to help me get there today. And then the last question is, what are you choosing? Just like I said about the energy that you're choosing, what's your energy today? What are you choosing today? That's the last question. What are you choosing today? So in this script, and it's just something I created for myself using some powerful coaching kind of questions and some things that I've found in journals that I've used in the past, like printed journals that I've used in the past that were really great prompts. And I just created this thing for myself that has gratitude built in, affirmations built in, intentionality built in, my daily plan built in, what I want to accomplish for that day built in, and then really getting clear on how I'm going to accomplish those things and then what I'm choosing to bring to that day. That's has been like the piece of the puzzle that takes it from the abstract kind of woo-woo and really makes it tangible and actionable. Because I think one of the problems about mindset work, quote unquote, is that we can think it's beyond us. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't need that. All of us need it. So sometimes for some people, it needs to be in a tangible kind of tactical format in order for it to really stick. And I'm as woo-woo as they come, pretty much. So I didn't need that piece, but for me to be grounded and not be all up here in my brain and in all the conceptualization of all the magic and the universe and all of that, I need to ground myself into tactical, actionable steps. And that has been so beyond incredible for me to take it out of just the manifestation and let's do affirmations and breath work and hope for the best, and really put that energy into action. And that's the big thing that I want to leave you with. How are you taking action through all of this? Because mindset work is incredibly important in the process of growth, in your process of entrepreneurship, in your process of career expansion. Mindset work will be the thing that takes you over the edge. I truly believe that. The longer that you run away from that, the longer that you try to deny that, the longer you'll stay stuck in all of those destructive patterns. So that's bonus tip number 1 is stop running away from that. That mindset piece is going to really tip you over the edge, but you have to attach it to action. You have to attach it to intentional action. You have to attach it to taking bold steps forward in the direction of where you want to go. So that's my piece of my personal mindset habits, my personal mindset system that I use every day, that, as you can see, it has movement built into it. It has learning and kind of growth built into it. It has my vision board and visualization and my vision built into it. It has affirmations and gratitude and intentionality, and then action built into it. And for me, that has been the system that has changed so much in my life, that have really taken me beyond what I believe to be possible, truly, for not only my life and the life that I live, but the woman that I am. It's made the biggest difference in my life. And I hope that something in there caught you, whether it's an actual thing to do, or it's a principle that you can take, extract, and make your own. I hope it serves you in a way so that you can move forward in the way that you want to, and no longer feel as if staying stuck and feeling overwhelmed and feeling just so frustrated and defeated by the process. It will take you out of that and help you start to build some momentum in the direction of where it is that you want to go. Thank you for being here with me. If you want to slide into my DMs and give me some feedback or share with me some of the things that you took away, I would love that. I'll share my Instagram handle in the caption below. Share with me what your thoughts are. You can comment on this video as well. Feel free to share this video with somebody that you think could benefit from it. Save it so you can watch it back later. Consider subscribing to this channel. I would be honored if you would do that. And yeah, let's keep growing together. Bye.